Okay, let's talk about the set mechanic. The Anomaly. This is pretty cool. This is our set mechanic this time. And the way it works is on 4-6, it happens at the same time every game. On 4-6, the Anomaly appears. And it puts a hex in the middle. And you get to pick one champion to send into the Anomaly to come out with a buff. So for example here, the buff that you can see is Laser Eyes. Constantly deal 80% AP magic damage per second in a 3-hex line and burn enemies for 3 seconds. So this is really good on like an AP frontliner. If you don't like this, you can re-roll it for a gold. And so let's say you really want to have like a good Zoe Anomaly buff. You're going to roll a bit and find a good Zoe one. Or maybe you want a tanky one for your Alawi in this comp. You're going to roll for a tanky one. And so basically you get to kind of pick what special buff you get to put on whatever champion you want. And it's 4-6, so it's late enough that you kind of know what you're playing, but how do you want to enhance your comp? So pretty neat. It's a pretty low impact in the sense that like everyone gets one. It happens at the same time every game. They're all generally balanced around each other, but having a cool understanding of what you're looking for can make all the difference. There are 60 of them in total. I'm not going to read every single one. If you want to check these out, you can pause, take a look, read them yourself. But like I said, there are 60 different ones, and generally it will try to cater to your board a little. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to be perfect. I bet some pros are going to look at stuff and be like, why is it showing me this? But it's got some help there. But to give you an example here, we have Bully. Bully says gain 18% damage amp, doubled against units with lower star level. Well, probably pretty good if you're playing a 3-star champion that wants to deal more damage, needs damage amp, and there's not a lot of other 3-star champions in the lobby. Pretty good. If not, maybe you pass on that and take Berserker range if you're playing like Ambessa. Ambessa is going to gain 20 AD and AP, tripled when you're below 50% health. Cool. Vi is also actually pretty good with that. Or maybe you want Cull the Weak. Gain up to 100% critical strike chance based on the target's missing health. Every 3 seconds, target the lowest percent enemy health in range. This can be good on snipers. This can be good, like I said, I like it on Ambessa. But yeah, and so like I said, you can look through and there's a bunch of these. I'll jump to the next page. Here's a bunch more. Some of them are really simple, like giant sized. Gain 1,000 health and grow greatly in size. Yep, if you want your tank to be even tankier, giant sized. Others can be a little trickier. Freestyling, gain 4.5% damage amp for each activated trait you have. Well, if you've got a lot of activated traits, and notice it doesn't say non-unique, you can get, this up to like 20, 30% damage amp if you play your cards right. So, yeah. And again, I'll leave it here for a second. I'm not going to read them all. One of my favorites here, though, is Dramatic Entrance. If you have 2 strong tanks, what you do is put one of your strong tanks, give them Dramatic Entrance. Combat start, they leap off the battlefield, kind of like the old set, run off the board. After 60 seconds, they come back with 60% increased max health and stun all enemies for 1.5 seconds. So it's like they jump back onto the board, do an AoE stun, and you've got a 60% bigger health tank. So Mundo with this, for example, can do pretty silly things as long as you have like the Blitzcrank to stay alive long enough before the Mundo comes in. So you can get pretty creative here. Here's the third page. Again, some are basic here. Mage Armor, gain armor and magic resist equal to 40% of your ability power. Sounds like a Swain one, right? Swain frontline, who's running Sorcerer, has a bunch of AP, gains more armor and MR based on that. Pretty basic. Others a little more complicated. Nothing Wasted, I love this one. You put this on like a Zoe, for example, and anytime an ally dies, gain 100% of their current mana. So your ally dies, Zoe gains more mana, Zoe's throwing more ults, Zoe's melting backlines. Pretty cool. Even Kill Streak, if you're ahead, gain 30 mana each kill. For those of you that used to like, oh god, what was it called? There was the augment that did this, but if you can get those kills and refresh your mana, you can do some pretty big damage here. Even Into the Unknown, I like this one. If you're willing to play without your carry for 2 rounds, then they come back with 50 AD and AP. So if you can sack 2 rounds and you're ahead, get them pretty strong. Yeah. And here's the final page. Ultimate Hero. Star up a 3-star 1-cost champion to 4 stars. If you want that to be your anomaly buff, cool. Do that. Oh, slow cooker. Slow cooker's a great one. Every second, deal magic damage in a 1 hex radius equal to 4% of their max health. Radius increases every 6 seconds. So, if you survive 24 seconds with this big, you know, imagine a Loris 3 with Warmog's Gargoyle. Well, at 24 seconds, he's now got an AoE hex the entire size of the board, hitting for 4% of his max health every second. So, pretty cool. We've seen some cool slow cooker builds. Yeah. So there you go. Oh, Scuttle Familiar. That's the other one I really like. Imagine you make a really powerful Mundo with, like, again, Warmog's Bramble Dragonclaw, and then you give him Scuttle Familiar. As soon as that Mundo dies, well, out comes a Scuttle Familiar, which I believe we had nerfed this to 100%. But basically, it's a Scuttle Crab that doesn't do anything, but has the same health, the same armor and MR, again, that can be extra tanky. So, pretty cool if you have a really strong solo tank and need to buy time for, like, your Dominator comp or something like that. Cool. And again, some are easy. The Finisher. The champion's attacks and ability execute enemies at 15% health or lower. Pretty basic. Easy to use. So yeah. That is our set mechanic.